Yeah, I want to start out by saying thanks to the fans, specifically the student section. I thought they were unbelievable tonight. I thought the atmosphere when they came in it was about 5:30 when I walked out, and they were rushing to get their seats, was really cool. I thought they did an outstanding job creating energy, specifically in the first half. It's always great when you look up at the Rock M and the grass is covered with fans, and I thought it was a really good environment tonight, and really appreciative of people finding a way on a Thursday night to be here to support us. So I want to start there. Also, it's always great to be 1-0. That's the mindset and what you want to do. I thought there were some really good moments in the game. Obviously, there was some a real lull in the third quarter that got sloppy that we got to get corrected and get off the tape. But really pleased with the way our special teams started fast by forcing a short punt and a blocked punt, which led to a touchdown, right there. And I thought the way we ended the first half with the offense scoring, defense going out, going 3 and out, using our timeouts and scoring again, obviously was the difference in the game. It went on a run right there. Defense was holding them 2 for 13 on third downs. I thought was really good. Obviously disappointed with leaving some points out there with our field goal unit, and that's something that's got to get corrected in a hurry. So with that, I'll open it up for the first question, which is what did I evaluate the quarterbacks at?
Along those lines, I know you said the plan was Sam gets to the second half. Was that kind of regardless of game situation?
Yeah.
And, I guess going forward to next week, how do you look at the competition?
Well, I just stepped off the football field, so I don't have any plan for next week. I've kind of told everybody that I've got no preconceived ideas going into it, and that I'm going to let the play speak for itself. So I'm going to go back and evaluate the tape. Obviously, the blink assessment would be that, Brady played a more consistent first half. Sam's interception, the ball bounces off the receiver's chest and bounces up in the air. Maybe it was behind him. Maybe it could have been a better throw, but can't tip the ball up there in that situation. That makes it a little bit worse. But, we'll go back and evaluate the tape. I'm not going to make a rush judgment there on that decision. But I did think Brady was very efficient, and Sam had his moments too. That was a nice touchdown drive at the end of the game right there, and converted a big 3rd and long with that little screen pass to Luther. Good call right there by Kirby.
As far as the offensive line, how would you evaluate their play for this game?
Without watching tape, it's going to be tough. I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage. Felt like we had a bunch of just unnecessary penalties, whether it was holding calls or holding on the perimeter, false starts, things that we got to get cleaned up and taken off the tape. That's the stuff that really held us back last year, and we got to be more disciplined in fixing that. But I think we only gave up the 1 sack. I didn't really feel like we had any pressure on the quarterback outside that one, and kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. They came out in a completely different defense. They played a 3-down front most of the night, which they've been pretty much a 4-down front team. So, that was an adjustment. It's a pretty good job by Brandon and the older guys to make that adjustment and get us to the outside zone, which was good.
When you're splitting time at quarterback, is there a thought process as to it being better to go first half, second half, as opposed to maybe 3 series and then the next guy for a few series, something along those lines?
Yeah, I haven't seen a book on how to handle it. Steve Spurrier went every other play. Lane Kiffin last year went every other half. Harbaugh went, every other game. So there's no books on it. So we'll do what we feel like is our plan, and we'll make it work.
Do you want to see Sam in the first half? Do you want to see him what he does in the start? Is that important to your evaluation process or not?
Nope, it's not important to me. The results on the field. He had the same players in front of him, same defense. So we'll look at it and see if we feel like, base it off of this performance fall camp and probably even after practice this week if we feel like opportunity was earned or not. But
even if you haven't decided on necessarily a full-time starter, it's still fair to say that Brady has a leg up. Certainly the appearance when he plays the entire first half.
What's the question again? You said something like seems. So what's the question? I'm sorry.
The appearance that Brady at least has a leg up in there.
Yeah, he has a leg up on it. That's why he went out there first. Yep.
Eli, what did you kind of think of the red zone offense? Obviously, you go down, I think, 5 to 6 in the red zone, connecting with touchdowns there on 5 of those. What did you think of that?
You know, it's always hard to ask me those questions because I get the one I really jarred up about was the missed field goal right there. We called the quarterback draw versus their odd front, and in a tempo situation, you know, we were trying to get to the hitch and didn't find it, which ended up, you know, with the way they played those 4 eyes, you know, there wasn't much movement in there. I don't remember the second down call. I just remember on third down, you know, Sam threw it was pressing the boundary, converted, and he thought it was one-on-one. It was clearly 2-man, which was a poor read there, which, you know, we had a bunch to the field that versus 2-man, we would have had I'd have to make sure on the tape, but based off alignment, the dig should be wide open. So, you know, disappointed in that execution of series right there. Obviously, you know, inside the 20, that's got to be a lock for a field goal with a guy who's got as much experience as Harrison. I don't know if it was all Harrison. I think the laces were not out, which, you know, is on both holder and snapper too. So we got work there to get corrected. You know, you got a true freshman and a new guy holding, so we got to get that cleaned up.
Coach, the whole offseason has kind of been about, you know, more explosive plays when it comes to Kirby with the offense. Do you feel like those opportunities were there and that they didn't happen, or do you guys kind of trying to convert them?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to give credit. They played a different scheme than what they've shown. They've been more of a quarters safeties insert to make tackles. They played a lot of odd cover 2 tonight and didn't want to give away any free access. When you're in a cover 2 defense and the Mike's running down the middle of the field, you're going to have to throw more intermediate stuff. You know, we hit a couple of climb routes over the middle. I think Makai's first touchdown was over that. We hit a couple of, you know, I know we hit Luther on that. It was in between a freedom route and a seam ball there. So, I mean, we had a couple. Obviously, our play action game wasn't quite as explosive as we wanted. I think we missed an opportunity to throw a big ball post to Theo in the first quarter or in the second quarter. But you know, that's part of it. They practice, and we got to go back and evaluate some of the things we do. But I'm not disappointed in 35 points, which could have easily been 41.
With Luther, is he, first of all, is he okay after the game? And what's to say about it? I mean, what'd you see making contested catches with some of those shots he took?
Yeah, was he injured?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. He just took.
Didn't he score
shots?
He scored the last play of the game, right?
That's fair. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so seems good to me.
But what's to say about him that he made some of those contested catches?
I mean, he's a great player. So players make plays. It's not real complicated, you know. So get the ball to your best players, and they make plays. I thought on his touchdown, I mean, all the credit in the world really goes to Connor Tollison. There's a Mike linebacker bearing down on him, and Lou, we've repped this and repped it and constantly harped on Connor needing to be really flat so he can make that block. And we're always on Luther. You got to trust that he's going to get there for you. And it showed up. Practice execution equaled game day reality right there, and we scored a touchdown. So that to me was really exciting. Obviously, you know, Lou said before that drive he wanted to get in the end zone. Disappointed on the holding call on the punt return. You know, just another play there that we got to take off the tape.
Eli, what's the third quarter lull? Can you put a finger on why that maybe happened?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Poor execution. They were able to, I think the first third down they converted. You know, we kicked off to them. We got them inside. There was a TFL. They got a second down conversion on a sprint out, or they got a second down. We didn't really run to the flats in a drop 8 coverage. Made it a manageable third down, or maybe even a conversion there. They converted a couple of third downs, you know, so then they get time of possession. I mean, they end up winning the time of possession battle, but they controlled the ball. We got the ball after a forced punt. I think we maybe had 4 or 5 plays. The first play, Connor snaps the ball without even a clap, which is not good. The second play, the ball bounces off the left guard on a pull, so kind of sloppy. We get a conversion, then we have a holding penalty. So, I mean, I'll have to go back and evaluate exactly what happened, but poor execution was the first.
Eli, what did you kind of think of Johnny Walker and also just kind of run defense as a whole?
Yeah, I don't think they ran the ball very well on us. They had some really new stuff. Really proud of Bake and the defensive staff, and really the defense as a whole. You know, we didn't have any idea what he was really going to do. He didn't call plays last year for South Dakota State, so we repped as many of the South Dakota State plays as we could. We even went back and watched some of his junior college tape when he was the OC. I mean, you really had no idea. They went into some funky personnels. They copied the Tennessee tempo play against us to try to get the tailback out, or the hide player out of the backfield. So there was a lot of things that they threw at us. You know, I know Bake's disappointed in the touchdown, because that really is a play that we should be able to execute much better. You know, we needed a push call out of the backers right there, but at the end of the day, that's on the offense. You can't turn the ball over on the negative side of the field and give them a short field. So I was proud of the way they played. Obviously, the one thing we got to get off tape is the 2 for 3 on fourth downs. I think 2 of them were the 4th and shorts. Obviously, Marvin had the 1 sack on the 4th down. He just got a tomahawk at the ball right there. It could have been a strip sack fumble opportunity.
But you mentioned Marvin. It's on the field first game as a freshman. What's impressed you most about him so far?
Yeah, I don't even consider him a freshman because he was an early enrollee. I mean, he played really well on special teams. I know on the Shark team, he did a great job of setting the edge and really getting us the tackle inside the 20 there. I know he had a couple of big hits, obviously a sack. I mean, he's a special football player. It's great to get somebody from Cardinal Ritter on our team. You know, obviously Lou was kind of at Cardinal Ritter too, but those 2 guys are really good players from St. Louis, and yeah, it's really exciting to see how much, you know, that the depth in the secondary is really good. It's really good, and we got a lot of really good players. You know, I was disappointed that JC couldn't go. Just didn't feel like it was worth the risk. But man, we got a lot of good guys in that back end.
You go through the first touchdown, looked like Brady either looked off the coverage or maybe looked to his second read. Just wondering what you thought of his execution of that play.
Yeah, it was honestly similar to what should have happened with Sam's inside the red zone. It was a cover 2 on a 3rd down. The difference was we were in a 2-by-2 instead of a 3-by-1. Brady was able to hold the field, or get the boundary safety to rotate. Mackay took the middle of the field, and Brady made a good throw. So it was really something that was well executed.
You guys were able to come out in that second drive and put points on the board after stalling a little bit on the first drive of the game. What were the adjustments you made when South Dakota came off in a different defensive front?
Yeah, we had to figure out what, you know, we were planning on being a little bit more heavy on the inside zone and the gap schemes going into it versus the 4-down front. But when they weren't playing or setting edges, then you got to go to the outside zone, and we had to do a better job. You know, we started with like a jet motion to Lou, and they were playing wide, so we knew we couldn't flip the jet. Quarterback did a great job reading it, but because of the way they're diagnosed the defense, or the defense was set up, we were short on an overhang player, so we kind of had to eliminate that play and get to a more 3-by-1 sets versus their odd. They're a balanced defense. We could gain a number by getting into the 3-by-1. I thought Kirby did a nice job, you know, designing the formation and the boundary runs, which were pretty good for us, and then some of the tempo stuff was pretty good.
Eventually you were able to get runs up the middle to succeed, especially on Cody's drive where he had 52 yards and finished with a 2-yard rushing touchdown. Did you guys make a change, or did it kind of just start opening up in the middle for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's complementary. Once you get them running on the outside zone, then you stick your foot in the ground and get vertical and push, vertical push. You know, the outside zone scheme is not to circle the defense, it's to divide the defense. And when you're running it at a high rate and in a good level, then you're able to stick your foot in the ground and get vertical. I think the plays that weren't so good for us was when we were trying to get too wide and left the wide receivers in a bad position to get holding.
Eli, a couple more quarterback questions. I know you are fond of those.
What do you got for me?
Are you seeing a difference in Brady's ball after the surgery and the strength? Are you seeing a different velocity in his throws or different strength?
I haven't measured it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever noticed in camp, or it's the same, or you think it's different?
I'd say he's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one, when Sam's playing.
Does that count for 2 questions, or we got one more?
That was a fun
I know, but you
one.
said
The
2 more
last-
questions. So does he get 2? So we're gonna take.
Observational.
Okay.
When Sam's in there, Brady's in the huddle.
Yeah.
Coach him up on the sideline. Are you evaluating that as much, not more than what happens on the field, but what does that tell you that here's a guy who, you know, could ignore this competitor, but he's trying to help? Does that tell you something about it?
I mean, anything that I've ever wanted to know about Brady Cook, he's already told me. He's a great leader. He's been voted captain of the team twice. He shows up every single day and puts the team first. He wants the Missouri Tigers to win. And if that means he gets to play quarterback and we win, great. If that means Sam Horn plays quarterback, great. I think we could put anybody out there and play quarterback. At the end of the day, Brady just wants us to win. And if he can help us do that by playing, man, he's going to be excited. And I'm sure there would be some personal disappointment if he wasn't. But I guarantee he'd never show it. I guarantee that, man. That guy's got so much character, so much grit, so much determination. He put his butt on the line for everybody in this organization and every fan, every single game last year with a torn whatever he had in his shoulder. And he never flinched. He never stinking flinched. And we asked, hey, you want to take it? No. Does Doc say I can play? Doc says you're good. You can't injure it any worse. I'm in. I'm fighting my butt off for this team. So I got no questions about his determination or him putting Mizzou first or putting the team first. That guy's a team first young man, and he's got a girlfriend. Otherwise, man, I'd be trying to get him hooked up with once my daughters turn 18 because he's unbelievable.
Sounds like you got your quarterback.
No, doesn't. Sounds like I love the young man. But I'm not going to let any of y'all decide. I'm not going to let public perception decide. We'll make a decision within these walls, and we'll go with it. But I'll be honest, none of y'all's opinions matter at all. So write them what you want, say what you want. It don't matter. Nobody cares. In this locker room, nobody cares. They don't. We're going to prove it on the field, so nobody cares. So you can write your opinion if you want to. I'm almost going to go Nick Saban. I'm not going to tell you, so quit asking, but I'm not.
When you evaluate the film,
No problem.
how do you decide what's kind of the first game mistake and then maybe a mistake that needs to be cleaned up from something else?
All mistakes got to be cleaned up, right? All mistakes have got to get cleaned up. I think the biggest thing we have to ask ourselves is this mistake fixable or does it need to be replaced? That's the question. Is this something that these guys can fix or is it a mistake that's got to be replaced? Usually it's, effort mistakes have got to be, if it's a lack of effort, we don't coach effort, we replace effort. If it's, hey, he's got great effort, but he's got a missed execution or a missed fundamental, okay, well, as a coach, what am I coaching? Am I coaching this to get fixed? Am I coaching this? Did I put him in individual? Did I give him that look? And if you did, then keep working.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.